Morning, and thanks for being with us on this Thursday morning. I'm Heather Abraham. I've been a little bit under the weather, but I am so glad to be back with you today. Ron Smiley is out at the Ice House in Market Square, and we're going to catch up with him a bit later. But first, a great way to pass a gray, chilly winter day is to watch the colorful flashes of birds flying in and out of backyard bird feeders. Not only is feeding the birds entertaining, it's also essential to their well-being. They need food and water to survive in harsh winter conditions. Tribune Review Home and Garden editor Doug Oster shot this video by placing a camera in his own backyard feeder. Doug is here with us this morning to share tips on how to attract birds to your own backyard. First, I have to say welcome back. We haven't seen you since around Christmas
I've been on the road, had a business trade show to cover. I've been writing stories about a little time in Florida fishing. It was awesome.
Well, we missed you.
And you're sick, so you stay over there.
I'm going to stay all the way over here, right? And you stay over there. No, but I think this is great too, because you kind of miss seeing the birds when it starts to get dark and gray, but you know they're still out.
Yeah, one thing for gardeners, one good reason to attract the birds is that they start this like foraging route during the winter. They're going to come to that feeder and keep coming, and then in the spring, when they're having babies, they're going to be eating bugs out of the garden and feeding those babies. I mean, like thousands of caterpillars and stuff. So that's one good reason to attract the birds, but also we just love to watch them.
Yeah. So it sounds like if you place the feeders in the right areas, you can definitely help yourself out in the process.
They need three things, and the first thing is some type of cover, which means just an evergreen shrub. So if you haven't put a feeder up yet, you want that to be about 10 feet away from the tree or shrub or whatever it is, because if you don't put it 10 feet away, then a squirrel is going to jump on it. We'll talk about the squirrels in a minute. So we give them some cover. A place where they can stage and hide and then come to the feeder and then go back and eat when they get back to that evergreen. Then, of course, the food. And so that's what I brought with me. This is all from a company called Kohl's, and they just make really good bird seed. And we want to feed the birds something good, especially in the winter. And there's all sorts of, this is like the #1 treat for birds.
Well, do you need to know what kind of birds are in your neighborhood to feed them appropriately?
For our area, we have all the same birds in the winter.
Okay.
So most people, probably the most used seed is black oil sunflower seeds. And this has black oil sunflower seeds in it. This one has black oil sunflower seeds in it. But anything with sunflowers, but there's all sorts of other things that the birds will love. And so when you mix it up, you get different birds. They're all here. It's just what will come to your feeder.
Okay, I see.
And then the other thing we need besides the food is we need water.
Yeah, and so how do you keep that from freezing?
How do we do that? Right, just this little heater thing. You just, plug it into an extension cord, put that in your bird bath, or in my case, I have this in a fountain. And so not only do the birds need the water, but the squirrels drink out of there too.
Those squirrels, they keep popping up.
Let's talk about them.
Okay, let's talk about those squirrels.
This, to me, is the best invention ever. These are called hot meats, and that is a sunflower seed, only with the shell is removed. So there's no waste. When you're buying this, everything here gets eaten. When you have the shelled ones, the bird has to take the shell off there. But this is treated with hot pepper. And so squirrels can taste the hot pepper. Birds can't taste the hot pepper. It doesn't hurt the squirrel. He's going to come up to that seed. He might take a taste. He might just smell it and say, that's not for me. And so if you have a feeder, like I have a lot of feeders, and they have either squirrel proof, that the squirrel jumps on it and you can't get to it, or I have baffles to stop the squirrel from the top or the bottom to get there. If you have a feeder, and I have feeders that are close to the house where that baffle wouldn't work, where they could just jump a foot onto the feeder, use something like these hot meats. But we have to help out the squirrels too.
I was going to say that. I feel bad for those little squirrels.
All right,
now
you just buy a little bit of this.
Just giving them hot pepper.
This feed corn. Okay. They'll eat the corn. They'll leave the bird seed alone, and then they'll be happy and they'll get nice and fat. You have a little Disney movie out in the back garden. You have
all these wild animals back there.
But let me show you something else that the birds love, especially in the winter, and that's this thing here called suet. And I know it's made out of kind of a fat,
right?
And then there's lots of other things in there. Some of the seeds and stuff that the birds will love. Down there is a type of suet, hot meat suet, where again,
over here.
No,
up front.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, if you got squirrels, you put it in this feeder, and the squirrels won't eat it. And I love these. At the very end, I know you're really excited about the dried mealworms.
I said those aren't alive, are they? You said they're freeze dried.
No,
right?
they're dried, no problem. But some birds really love insects. And so if you just sprinkle those up there, get over the
ick factor.
Yeah.
Well, and that's good though. You want the birds to like the insects because they'll help you in
That's
the spring.
Right. That's right. And I love these tube feeders, and especially this one from Kohl's, because you got to keep your feeder clean. The bottom comes right off, so it's very easy to clean.
Okay. Something like this, how much does this run you?
I don't know, it's probably 25 bucks, something like that. It lasts you forever.
Right.
You know.
Okay, very cool.
Fill it up with bird seed. Enjoy watching the birds. Enjoy listening to the birds. The birds have started doing their mating calls early in the morning. So.
I love listening to the birds in the morning. Okay, well, thanks, Doug. It's nice to see you again, and good tips here for us. And here's another way to enjoy nature during wintertime. Doug is leading a winter botany walk tomorrow at Pittsburgh Botanic Garden. It includes exploring plants and a lunch, $20 for members and $30 for non-members. Look for more details on Doug's blog, and we'll have that link at kdka.com/PTL.